It's a great post-vaccination binge. The cinematography alone will make you forget that you can't move your arm for the next 3 days. What's up, folks? I'm Karama, aka The Blurred Girl, and welcome back to Stream This. Now, it's been a minute, but I'm super excited to be back talking to you about movies and shows and all the stuff that you need to be watching on streaming. Now, this episode is sponsored by AMC Plus, but trust me, I have watched, or am in the middle of watching, everything on this list. So for those of you who are not familiar with AMC Plus, they're a premium bundle featuring the best of AMC, BBC America, IFC, and Sundance. And they also include Shudder, Sundance Now, and IFC Unlimited. So you're not just getting one channel, you're getting a bunch of shows and movies. And if you click the AMC Plus link in the description box below and sign up now, you can get a 7-day free trial and watch everything on the platform, all without a cable subscription. But if you have one, that's okay too. First up, we have Gangs of London. Now, this show is an organized crime thriller hidden inside a martial arts film. Gareth Evans created this show. He's the director, creator, and stunt coordinator of both Raid and Raid Redemption. This means the fight scenes are amazing and brutal. Season 1 of Gangs of London starts with the death of Finn Wallace, played by Cole Meany. Now, all of you Star Trek fans will recognize him as head engineer Chief O'Brien from Star Trek Next Generation. Now, for 2 decades, Finn headed up the most powerful criminal organization in London, aided by his number one, Ed Dumani, played by Lucian Samadi. Now, do you remember Lucian? He was like the only black guy on Game of Thrones. Now, speaking of Game of Thrones, Finn's widow Marion is played by Catelyn Stark herself, Michelle Fairley, and her character's turn from quiet grieving widow to like simmering rage in this show better win her some awards. She's amazing. Finn's death creates a power vacuum, which of course ignites the other crime families, including the Pakistanis, the Albanians, the Kurds, and even the Bikies. Finn's impulsive son Sean, played by Joe Cole, aka John Shelby from Peaky Blinders, is blind with revenge. But the unsung hero of this show is Elliot Finch, played by Shope Dirisu, who seems like one of Finn's flunkies at first, but is actually a military-trained undercover cop. And if Shope looks familiar, that's because he was Fred on Humans. He has to become almost a triple agent to survive this thing while trying to keep both his job and his convalescing dad alive. Don't let the title fool you. Gangs of London is an international show. It weaves real-world history in with the fictional lives of this cast so skillfully that you'll really never know where you're going to end up after each episode. Up next, A Discovery of Witches. This show caught me by surprise. I honestly thought it would be like an adult Twilight, but it's actually an engaging fantasy love story with those Korean drama cliffhanger endings I'm addicted to. Now, based on the award-winning All Souls fantasy series written by Deborah Harkness, A Discovery of Witches revolves around Diana Bishop, played by actress Teresa Palmer, a historian who also happens to be a witch. She was adopted after her parents were killed when she was a child, and although she knows the basics of witchcraft, she never really practiced it. But she is a well-published historian, and her research on alchemy brings her to Oxford, where she inadvertently conjures a book while doing research. And of course, it's not just any book, but a bewitched tome that witches, demons, and vampires have been trying to locate for centuries, with the power to create or destroy them all. And yes, all 3 exist in this modern-day tale, and they hate each other. This is problematic when vampire Matthew Claremont, played by Matthew Good, is drawn to Diana. Now, initially, it's really obvious that his interest is in the book, but soon it's clear that his attraction is more than that. Yep, you see where this is going, right? Now, the creature interactions are monitored by the congregation. That's what they call this cabinet made up of each species meant to keep the peace and their world away from humans. Well, other humans. But even among cabinet members, witches and vampires can't stand each other. And it turns into the world's most dangerous game of keep away as everyone is after Diana and this book, or in Matthew's case, her love. Along the way, she learns to use her powers to airbend, firebend, waterbend, even time travel. Listen, we're only on season 2, so I don't think she's reached her final form yet. The show is full of familiar faces. Matthew, for instance, played Ozymandias in Zack Snyder's Watchmen. Diana's witchy aunts are played by Doctor Who's Alex Kingston, and her partner, The Blacklist's Valerie Pettiford. And Peter Knox, one of 3 witches on the congregation vying for power, is played by Game of Thrones' Owen Teale. Has this man ever played a happy character? Let me know in the comments, because I've never seen it. Watch the entire first 2 seasons of Discovery of Witches on AMC Plus right now. It's a great post-vaccination binge. The cinematography alone will make you forget that you can't move your arm for the next 3 days. Next is Train to Busan. Now, AMC Plus doesn't just have shows to stream, they also have movies. And if you are a horror fan, Shudder has you covered. So if you don't have all weekend to get lost in Gangs of London or Discovery of Witches and you only have a couple of hours to spare, may I interest you in a Korean horror zombie thriller? Now, those of you who are fans of this channel know that I'm not a hardcore gore fest fan, but I do like a good thriller and a good zombie movie to boot. And Train to Busan delivers both in spades. This is one of the most well-written zombie movies I have ever seen, because director-writer Young Sun-ho somehow managed to place a zombie thriller inside a very human story. It's about a workaholic divorced father who lives in Seoul with his daughter, and he's bringing her to her mother's for the child's birthday. And by the way, if the dad looks familiar, that's Gong Yoo from K-drama's Guardian and The Coffee Prince. Now they're taking a KTX, one of the high-speed trains that's popular in Seoul, South Korea, to the port city of Busan. Now, unbeknownst to them, a chemical leak at a nearby Seoul power plant is ground zero for the zombie apocalypse. The commuter train ride turns from mundane to deadly as one infected passenger spreads the virus to more. And soon even the train stations are overrun with zombies. But it's the story of the passengers actually on the train, from poor to wealthy, young to old, that won this movie so many awards. Each character seems to have their own intersecting arc amidst this backdrop of chaos and horror. Train to Busan is a microcosm of society, and rewatching it the other day during this pandemic, it hits different. It's even better. It's a commentary on family and purpose, and I never thought I'd be saying that about a zombie film. But I'm telling you, Train to Busan is one of the best, not just horror movies, but films, period. Don't take my word for it, check it out. It's streaming on AMC Plus right now on Shudder. Now, before I get to my last pick, don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell so that you don't miss any updates. Now, Orphan Black is the last show on this list, but one of the best shows on AMC Plus. Now, if you're like me and you missed Orphan Black when it first aired back in 2013, don't yell at me, I know. I'm telling you, you've got to watch this show now. The series begins with Sarah, a grifter who's in town to get away from her deadbeat, abusive boyfriend, but no less than 30 minutes in the city, and she witnesses a woman named Elizabeth who looks exactly like her jump in front of a train. And that's the least crazy thing that happens on this show. Sarah seizes the opportunity and assumes Beth's identity to figure out what's going on. Is she a twin? Is she family? But she doesn't realize that Beth was a cop, and that she was being watched, and that she's actually a clone. In fact, there are 6, well, now 5 primary clones in the clone club on Orphan Black. Oh yeah, not only do they have some weird genetic clone disease that kills some of them off, but there's someone out there actually murdering clones with intent. Besides Sarah, my other favorite character is Felix Dawkins, Sarah's foster brother, played by Jordan Gavaris.
Sarah, you always do this to me.
Together, they try to unravel the mystery that is her genetically engineered life. All of the clones are masterfully played by Tatiana Maslany, and I completely understand how she won an Emmy for this show, because she plays 5, 6, 10 different characters, often in the same scene. In a plot that unravels over 5 seasons, there's a lot going on. There's cults, conspiracies, clone sympathizers, eugenics, philosophy, and did I mention more clones? The underlying theme of Orphan Black is what it means to be human, and who has the right to make that distinction. All 5 seasons of Orphan Black are up now on AMC Plus, so you can start watching right now. Another entire weekend that I'll never get back. But in a pandemic, what is time anyway, right? So those are my faves, and they're all available on AMC Plus. You can get AMC Plus by adding it to your Apple TV channel subscription, or Amazon Prime Video, or the Roku channel. You can also watch it on Sling TV or YouTube TV. And if you still have cable or satellite, you can search for AMC Plus via the on-demand menu from Comcast, DirecTV, or Dish. And don't forget, if you click the AMC Plus link in the description box below and sign up right now. You can get a 7-day free trial and watch everything on the platform. Remember, AMC Plus has only the good stuff, including award-winning series and popular movies, essential horror, acclaimed comedies, true crime, and more. Thanks for watching. Comment below if you've watched any of these shows and tell me what's your favorite. See you next time.